Hello and welcome to my first non-gaming video. Today we are going to be discussing my top 3 favorite fighters from each weight class in UFC this year. So yeah, this is a bit of a new direction for me to take this. I have been mainly focusing on gaming Terraria. I just released Doom as well. But yeah, we're gonna get variety going here. So this is the first steer away from gaming I'm going to be taking, and yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, so we're going to be starting with Flyweight. I do not feel the need to look outside of the rankings because those are going to be most of the guys I can remember by name, and if I'm that big of a fan of a person that's not ranked, I will probably be able to rank them anyway. But yeah, as far as Flyweight goes, my number one guy this year, Kai France. I've been loving seeing what he did, seeing that at the end of the year, what was it, Cody Garbrandt knockout. That was quite fun, and yeah, I'm happy for the guy. He trains with Israel Adesanya and Alexander Volkanovski, Dan Hooker, those guys at City Kickboxing, and yeah, he's definitely been my favorite guy in that division this year. Number two is probably going to have to go to Brandon Moreno, the new champion. He had a draw earlier with Davidson Figueiredo, old champion, and he won the rematch. Submission, I'm pretty sure. That was quite cool to see. Seems like a good guy, so yeah. Him and Nate Diaz at the press conference was also kind of a fun dynamic to see, but yeah, outside of that, my number 3 guy is probably going to be Davidson Figueiredo. This is a division I'm not too invested in, so yeah, I'm not a big fan of Figueiredo, but he's good. I like him. Alright, now we're moving up to Bantamweight. Aljamain Sterling's champion debut. My number 1 guy, 100% Piotr Jan. Ever since I first saw him fight, it was actually against Aljamain the first time they fought. Yeah, I've just been a big fan of the dude and his style, how he punches, how he lands. And yeah, he's for sure the number 1 dude. Next up is going to be probably Corey Sandhagen. Their fight that they had at the Blachowicz Teixeira card was very fun. I enjoyed that. And I did think Corey Sandhagen actually beat TJ Dillashaw when they fought, even though it went to Dillashaw. There's definitely an argument to be made, but I feel just looking at damage at the end of the fight, like if you were just some person on the street, been looking at 2 people thinking who won, TJ was all busted up and Corey had like some bruising on his face. So I think just based off of appearances alone, you could say that Corey won the fight, but it was also a razor close fight. So yeah. And then my number 3 person is going to be Merab Devashili. Let me see. Yeah, this is the guy. I've seen him fight a couple times. He reminds me a lot of Rafael Fiziev, the way he fights and looks. He also has that Piotr Jan, European guy vibe to him. Could be beanie, or not beanie, wig. But yeah, I've liked what he's been doing this year. He's been winning. Marlon Moraes. Oh yeah, that Moraes fight was really good. Comeback of the year, if not the Charles Oliveira one. I was more tempted to say Charles Oliveira was comeback of the year just because that happened in a title fight, and the dude was really close to losing. But yeah, this was another razor close comeback. This fight. Yeah, featherweight's kind of actually a bit of a difficult one to pick because the championship was only defended once this year, so I didn't really get to see much of Volkanovski. And I've just recently started watching fights this year, so yeah, if I'm gonna have to say someone's my favorite fighter at this weight class this year, it's gonna be Brian Ortega. That guillotine that he got locked in during their title fight was quite hype. That's how I'll put it. It was a good moment. And yeah, he's had some good wins, and yeah, he's just been doing good. I enjoy his fighting, like his style. T-City, good fighter. Next up, I'm going to have to say Dan 50K Ige. He had a really good fight with Chan Sung Jung and Josh Emmett his past 2, and he's lost both of them unfortunately. But I became a fan after this Ige versus Tucker fight. I really got into it. It happened 22 seconds in. No wonder I became a big fan of this dude. One of my first fights that I was ever watching, and yeah, it was just really fun watching this dude fight. His nickname worked perfectly for him, 50K Ige. Yeah, just had the look. I became a fan instantly. And then my number 3 guy at this weight class. Ooh, let me see. Those top 2 guys were levels above anyone else that I'm going to be picking, but if I had to say, it's got to be Max Holloway. Yeah, I haven't been like a major Max fan, but I like the work he does. The Cater and Rodriguez fight have been quite fun, and I do think he at least won one of those Volkanovski fights. I haven't seen them in a minute, and I'm pretty sure the second one was the one that he did better in, but yeah, they got to do that trilogy at some point if Volk keeps the title. It's just got to happen. Making a choice is probably going to be the most tough in this division because I have 4 dudes in specific that I think deserve to be on this list, and I have no clue where I'm going to put any of them. Let's start with the number 1 guy, I guess. Let's go. I'll have to say Charles Oliveira, I guess, yeah. He's had just an amazing year. He's won, what was it, 3 fights? 2? I don't remember, but either early this year or late last year, he beat Tony Ferguson, which is now starting to look a lot more impressive on Tony's part because everyone was saying he's on his losing skid. The guys that beat him, Justin, Beneil, and Charles, which are all top 3 guys. And then he didn't get submitted in a 3-round fight, but Dustin Poirier lost in the 3rd round. So yeah, it's very interesting. I think if both him and Dustin stay at lightweight, and Dustin still like has the drive to do this, I think that fight could be interesting. But yeah, Charles probably have to be my number 1 guy. Yeah. I've been rooting for him this whole time. You know, I close to the Poirier fight, just was such a big fan of how good of a guy Poirier is that I kind of swapped my vote. But in the entire build up to the whole thing, I was pretty sure Charles was going to win. But yeah, that leads to my number 2, which, oh my god, yeah, this is tough. I'll have to say Justin Gaethje, yeah. He was my original favorite fighter when I first got into the UFC. He's who got me into the UFC with Tony Ferguson. So it's kind of sad Tony's not going to be making this list. He'd probably be my number 5 guy, but or maybe not this year actually. Tony hasn't had the greatest year, but yeah, Justin deserves this spot. Number 3, the guy that I thought was going to go number 1 coming into this, Rafael Fiziev. I don't think people know a lot about this guy, so I'm going to show you a little bit of what he's done. He's gone on a 3-fight winning streak this year. No, 2 fights, but yeah, he beat Bobby Green and Matt Riddell, who's, yeah, both amazing fights. I really liked them. And yeah, it made me a fan of Fiziev. I think I saw him first early last year when he was fighting this guy, and this is what made me originally like look out for him to fight again. It took a while for him to come back, but it was pretty good. He hits like a tank. And yeah, he's gotten finishes. Or this was a decision, but he got a finish over Riddell. So yeah, Fiziev, honestly, a guy I was thinking about putting out 1, but I'd put Charles there just because he had such a great year as far as championship wise and everything. And then Gaethje went ahead of him. Just honestly, if I take it back. This guy's number 2. Fiziev's number 2. Gaethje only won 1 fight this year. I wish I could have seen him at least one more time, but oh well, it was a great fight with Chandler. And yeah, the guy I was going to put, or the 4th guy I was talking about is Dustin Poirier. It's unfortunate. If he won the title, I probably would have put him number 1 or 2, or I don't even know. Yeah, lightweight's a hard one to pick, but moving on to welterweight. 100% my favorite fighter this year's got to be Kamaru Usman. The whole Trevor Whitman, Justin Gaethje Rose thing is great dynamic, and I really liked how they built that whole pay-per-view around it. UFC 250, 69, 59? I don't remember, whatever. But, I think it was 269 actually. But, yeah, definitely Kamaru Usman. That Masvidal knockout was quite amazing. Yeah, it looked like a classic boxing style knockout. I love how he just uses his fundamentals so well on the feet, and then obviously on the ground he's quite dominant. My next favorite person this year to watch, let me see, is probably gonna have to be welterweight. Welterweight's kind of a boring division, not gonna lie. There's like some guys that have promise, but they're not up there yet. Ooh, okay, I got two. Um, I'll say, this is hard. They both only had one fight. The two I'm looking at is Hamzat and Kobe. I would really like these two to fight next, honestly. I feel like that would be a good move by Colby to take him out while he's maybe still a little green, young, doesn't know that level yet, unless he does. But yeah, Hamzat definitely has promise. I guess I will say Colby. Yeah, I just really enjoyed his synergy with Kamaru and their rivalry. And then, yeah, obviously number three, Khamzat Chimaev. He's been managing to keep his not getting hit streak going somehow, even after getting COVID, which we've seen possibly negatively affect others, like Amanda Nunes, and we'll get to Amanda Nunes. But yeah, yeah. Who else was it? Leon. Leon did all right coming back from it. But yeah, number three is Khamzat. He didn't even get hit. He's only been hit like what 4 times. He's had 4 fights. That's quite good. But moving up to middleweight, this one I'm similarly interested in a couple guys. Um, yeah, number one of which I will have to say is Marvin Vettori. I was really impressed with this guy this year. Let me see here. Italian Dream, yeah. Uh, Recently, he fought Paulo Costa. Costa missed weight heavily. Still beefing with the UFC over that, apparently, but he did a great job fighting that dude. Costa's heavy hitting bear man, you know. And Vettori took all those hits and kept coming forward. I felt he deserved that win for sure. Then he lost to Izzy before. I was kind of hoping on a deep down level that he would win because when Blachowicz and Izzy fought, I was Team Adesanya until me and my friend did a prediction competition, and we were tied at that point, so I decided I'd switch to Blachowicz, and when Jan won, I was kind of hyped because I won. So I was like, whatever, I've seen Izzy lose before, I guess I can do it again. It's unfortunate, though, looking back, after seeing Blachowicz lose to Shishera. I kind of wish Adesanya beat him, but it is what it is. And then he beat Kevin Holland before that. I honestly forgot about this fight, but yeah. Holland hasn't had a great year this year. It's sad. He went on a 5-fight winning streak in 2020, and what is he now this year? Can I see? No. Well, I'm pretty sure he's lost like 3 or 4 fights. Let me see. He had the Vettori loss, and Dawkins, Shabakel. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, he's not won this year, which is unfortunate for him. But yeah, my number two guy at middleweight, I will have to say. Probably going to have to be Sean Strickland. I say that hesitantly, but I enjoy the interviews this guy does. He seems like just a wacky character, good guy to have around, and he seems legitimate-ish. I don't think he means a lot of the murder-related stuff he says, as far as like actually doing it. But I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't mind killing somebody in the ring. I don't know. But yeah, he's just an enjoyable guy to see. He's coming up. Excited to see what he does at the top because he's going to fight one of these top guys next. Rockhold was his gateway into that. Now he's just kind of there. And my number three guy, I guess I will say Robert Whittaker. I enjoy his interviews and stuff outside of the UFC. Seems like a really good dude. The Gastelum fight was amazing. I was really rooting for Gastelum there. Gastelum probably would have made this list if he won, but yeah, Vittori's Robert Whittaker's just doing great. All right, now for the either first or second boringest division in my opinion, as far as people go. Either this one or yeah, honestly, my least favorite division at the moment. Light heavyweight. Took me a minute to even find a third person that I wanted on this list. So number one, Yuri Prabhaska. He had a quite good year. Yeah, he fought Ustamir. Or, no, that was last year. Okay, yeah, I didn't hear about this anyway. So, but yeah, that Reyes knockout. Wow, back elbow. It was quite fun. And yeah, his fight with him was good. Now he's kind of like my last hope as far as having an entertaining champion in this division. Because Teixeira is great, his boxing is great. He's just not someone that I've been a fan of. He's like an OG on his way out, and he's got this title win that's probably gonna peak off his career. And I'm a new fan, so I'm just here to see new guys come up and be along for that story. So in a few years, I can be the one saying, "Ooh, these OG guys, Yuri Prabhaska. I hope he can finally get his title win or something." But yeah, Yuri, my favorite guy for sure. It might have been Blachowicz if Blachowicz beat Teixeira, but yeah, that's probably who I'm putting there. And then number two is gonna be Blachowicz. I was very excited by that Adesanya win, and then he beat Reyes, who, in my opinion, beat John Jones. But yeah, that was a great early part of the year for him. And then obviously round two, he lost by submission to Teixeira, and he is no longer the champion. He has a fight with Alexander Raktik coming up though, so that should be fun. See Polish Power get back in there. Maybe he'll come back and find his way back to the top. But yeah, my number three guy is just got to be Champ out of respect. Nothing particularly I like about him, but he's a good fighter. He has good looking boxing, great jiu-jitsu, obviously. But yeah, that's my number three guy. Now for heavyweight, big boys. Let's see here. I already know who my number one is going into this, so I'm just trying to figure out the rest. Oh, okay. This might actually be a little difficult. I'll just start with my number one guy, Tai Tuivasa. I love it. Shoey guy. Bam Bam. Can't wait to see him rise to the top, see how far he can go. But yeah, he's been quite active this year. He fought Hunsucker, KO round one, KO round one against Hardy as well, and KO round two against Sakai, who I'm pretty sure has since then gotten a win. He was first heavyweight to ever miss weight as well. So that's pretty cool. Did he recently fight it, actually? Sakai? I'm actually really interested in this because that's a December 11th fight, so he would have had to been back in there quick. I can't tap on him, so I'll just assume yes. But yeah, Tai Tuivasa, 100% my favorite guy. His shoe thing, I feel like really getting in there with the fans and Australian, so that automatically gives him points for coolness. But yeah, let's see. So as far as my number two guy, it's definitely between uh, two champs, Serial and Derek Lewis. But that's where it gets hard because there's four guys who all deserve this equally. Number two, let's see. Well, I'm going off of who had the best years and who I liked the most this year, so I will have to say Serial Gone, number two. He had a great title win over Derek Lewis. A lot of people weren't expecting that. I kind of felt it could go that way if he was like really the real deal as far as his kickboxing goes. He's able to just stay out of there and not take big punches. But I also think Derek let himself down and didn't perform to his best there. Serial's game plan definitely was right for the win, and I just think Derek wasn't conditioned well. Obviously, let his mental get thrown off by whatever. But yeah, other than that, he won over Volkov, which was a great fight. I love Volkov and Gan's fight this year. And then I did not see the Rosenstruik fight. I'm pretty sure I might have, but it wasn't too memorable to me. It might have been a boring fight. I don't know. It says round 5 decision, but I know Rosenstruik's also a kickboxer, so I wouldn't assume it go that way. Maybe Gan just used his takedowns and laid on him, but yeah, that's another thing I'd like to talk about really quick. People who say grappling and like the ground game of mixed martial arts is boring, I feel like don't really get it that much. Like striking, for example, can be so boring as well. We see it all the time, and like just for example, one that most people should know about is Francis Ngannou versus Derek Lewis. That was a boring striking fight, and just like any other boring fight. It was not really because lack of skill, I guess, but they were gun shy, and it just made for an unentertaining fight where we didn't really see anyone test anything. And to the contrary, I'd say grappling is boring because some people will just lay on others and not have the ability to capitalize and throw strikes or shoot for submissions. Because I think the whole submission aspect, especially when it's done right by like guys like Brian Ortega, it can be really cool and entertaining. And same with ground punching, like Khabib, the way he smashed guys was entertaining, I guess, but Khabib was kind of boring in the way he'd do it. He was just more there to punish his opponent rather than to have a fight for the fans-esque thing, I guess. But I think the reason a lot of people see ground stuff as boring is because there are some guys who will just pretty much use what they can and lay on the other guy to keep him down because that's the only place they see themselves as slightly superior, which is what it all is, so slight superiority. Like, for example, a good way of holding somebody down and not being boring is round 2 of Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier. I found that quite entertaining. But anyway, we are moving on to the women's strawweight division. This one I quite enjoyed this year. Started out major Magnum Zhang Weili fan. Seeing that, what was it? Why am I forgetting her name? Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Seeing that fight with Zhang Weili. That was probably my favorite fight. Still might be. I haven't really looked back on that. There was a lot of good fights I've seen since then. I kind of need to figure out once and for all what my favorite fight is, but there's definitely a few up there, and this one is up there between Zhang Weili and Joanna Jędrzejczyk, who unfortunately isn't on the list. I don't think she's fought since then. But yeah, my number one favorite fighter this year, though, has to be Rose. She has had a crazy year, beat Zhang Weili twice. First time by knockout, which was heartbreaking to me. I was on Weili's team for that, and it was so early, and we didn't get to see anything. I was hoping for another fight that was on the level of Joanna one, but unfortunately, I didn't get to see that, and she got knocked out very early in round 1. Actually, that kick that Rose threw, I saw like how that could have been used by Joanna in their fight. Like rewatching it back, I was like, whoa, that kick was very open that whole fight. But yeah, Rose definitely has had an amazing year, and then that whole Trevor Whitman thing. It's just fun to see. Fun to see. But let me see. Yeah, Whaley's probably going to be my number 2. There's no one standing out to me as any better than her as far as my fanship. But yeah, Whaley, even though she hasn't really won this year, I'm pretty sure, I just still really enjoy her. Yeah, her last fight was dang. Whaley, you want to fight was a while ago. I know COVID's had negative effects on China and abroad superstars who's got to find ways to fly and train and whatnot. But yeah, I definitely think that played a big role in how she lost and why she lost so easily. It was unfortunate, but it's a fight game. You got to be better than your opponents all the time, no matter what. Otherwise, you're going to be surpassed. But yeah, my number 3 girl is probably going to have to be yeah, it's got to be Marina Rodriguez. She's been having a crazy good year this year. I don't think she's lost, no. Yep, she's won over Amanda Ribas, Michelle Watterson, and Mackenzie Dern. all round five, no, not all round five decisions, but yeah, she's been just an entertaining woman to watch, I guess. She reminds me a lot of, who is Max Holloway, I guess. That whole Yuri Rodriguez Max Holloway fight in general just sums up how she fights, I feel like. Very entertaining standing fighter, and she seems like she might have a bright future ahead of her. Win-loss record's quite low. She's high up in the division, quite young, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, well, actually, she's not that young. Well, we'll see. It's exciting. She could do anything then. She's at her peak, maybe, so interesting to see what she could do. Anyway, up to the women's flyweight, Valentina Shevchenko. Ooh, that's difficult. Out of respect, I'd want to put Valentina up there at number one, but Macy Barber has very much impressed me. Yeah, she's also another new person, up and comer, and before this, I probably would have put Amanda Maverick at number one because I've been watching her throughout the year and paying attention to her because of her very unique name, so it makes me much more capable of recognizing when she is fighting. But yeah, Macy Barber actually lost to Roxanne. That's unbeknownst to me. It was back in 2020, but yeah, this year Barber's won twice. Beat Amanda Maverick, who was on a 3-fight winning streak, I think. It might have been 2 and one very close loss, but I did think she lost or won that fight. I think judges scammed her before she fought Barber, but yeah, this Barber win was for sure deserved for Macy Barber and very much impressed me, and it is why I'm putting her at number one. Alright, so my number 2 pick for, yeah, it's gonna be Shevchenko. What can I say? She's beaten Lauren Murphy this year, Jessica Andrade, I think somebody else as well, but yeah, she's just been dominant. And I think after what happened to Amanda Nunes recently, she might be the women's GOAT because everyone was saying or arguing before about who's the GOAT, and I thought it was pretty clear that Amanda was the GOAT. She was the only ever 2 times women's weight class champion, and she's still held it and defended up until recently. But yeah, I think Valentina might be pulling ahead now. I don't know how many more fights she's won in a row than Amanda, but yeah, Valentina's pulling that closer into discussion for me. I thought before that it was no discussion Amanda's GOAT, especially being that officially she's beaten Valentina twice, even though those were really close fights, and a lot of people think Valentina won, but now I think that has more of a ground to stand on than before. So yeah, might just be looking at the GOAT here. We won't ever actually even know who's the GOAT until they've both retired and stopped competing because they're both still competing. And yeah, I didn't even pick a number 3 person. Hold up. Yeah, I'd probably have to say Amanda Maverick, yeah. Very much enjoyed what she's done. Some fortunate setbacks she's been going through these past 2 fights, but she might just come back even better because of them. You know, they're both very close decision losses, and she just needs to fix up some things in her game plan, specifically that wrestling. And yeah, that's about it for that division. And now finally, last but not least, women's bantamweight. Yeah, it looks like women's featherweight does not have a rankings. I always wondered why the featherweight women were not in UFC 4 video game, but that has become apparently clear to me now. There's just no women's featherweights. I know Amanda did up there, defended against, who was it? Shit. A very tall Aussie lady. Megan Anderson, that's it. But yeah. As far as my number 1 favorite bantamweight this year, I will have to say, that's actually tough. Bantamweight's kind of a boring division to me as well. Huh. Now I'm at a crossroads. I've got Juliana Pena and Amanda Nunes, and I gotta pick one of them. Who's my favorite this year? Normally I would have said Amanda, but that upset was huge. I never saw Amanda losing in a million years. Funny story, actually. The first Ultimate Fighter I ever watched was the one that Juliana won. So that's kind of cool how she stands out to me among all these other women. for that reason, she goes to win against Nunes. And in my opinion, the biggest upset of UFC history, at least. The only one I've ever heard other than that is GSP Matt Serra, which I haven't seen, didn't see, don't really know much about it, but it doesn't seem like that big of an upset. I don't know, 'cause, yeah, it's just not my time. Definitely biggest upset of my time. The Rousey upset, I feel like could have just been people's fault for being blind, but that doesn't devalue how, what do you call it, invested they were in her winning. But yeah, I guess I'll have to say my favorite, Juliana Pena. I'll have to go Juliana #1, just because of all that. She had a great year, and yeah. And then Amanda Nunes, obviously #2. Man, I saw that she was doing CrossFit in the UFC countdown thing, and I was like, oh, that would be funny if she just went in there and gassed completely out and just did horribly when she started switching to CrossFit. And nobody's actually talking about that, which I find kind of surprising. But she's been, yeah, she won twice this year. I felt like she's fought more than that, but I thought she fought at least 3 times this year. It's weird. But yeah, she originally beat Megan Anderson in early round 1 submission. I remember that. I thought the fight went a little bit longer than that, but yeah. And obviously, Pena was able to not knock her out, but put her down and or hurt her on the feet and then take her down and submit her with a not great looking choke, but you know it did it. Amanda tapped and she gassed out clearly. Um, yeah, Amanda Nunes, I like her. I liked her going into this. I like her style on the feet. I like the upset that she's done in the past with Rousey and Cyborg and all of them, but it's unfortunate seeing it happen to her like this. I don't know if it's COVID or not training right. I'd assume it's that. I don't know how good CrossFit is for mixed martial arts training. But yeah, my #3 pick is going to be. Let me see. Alright, well, yeah, I don't think I'd rank her above my #3 pick, who was Miranda Maverick anyway. But yeah, Molly Mccann's a good shout out for this. She's not ranked, but I really enjoy Molly Mccann. Meatball. Seeing her run out like how she did for Paddy Pimblett when he won was heartwarming because they trained together and whatnot. But my #3 pick at bantamweight and my final pick probably I want to say Misha Tate. I really do. I'm not seeing anyone whose name stands out to me as somebody I recognize either. Who beat Misha recently? Raquel Pennington was another one of those girls that was on the Rousey Tate season. I'm pretty sure is the one that Pena won, but yeah, Misha Tate's had a good comeback this year. Oh, she did lose to Pennington though. That was back in 2016, but yeah, this year she came back, won one fight and lost another one sadly, but she looked good in there. You know, I thought she definitely won or lost to Vieira. And yeah, it's unfortunate her year's gone that bad, but yeah, I'll say Misha Cupcake Tate is my #3 pick. And that should conclude it for this list. Thank you all for watching. I don't know how long this is going to turn out to have been, but if you were sitting here a while, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I enjoyed this year as far as UFC goes. Becoming a fan of it was definitely worthwhile. I like it a lot more than boxing or anything else. And yeah, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.